So one thing that I hear often in my professional business is that people struggle with the person that they had, that they called mother. That they have a strong sense of trying to accept it, and they would really like to move past their parents. Now, one of the first things that I like to suggest is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a one-time thing. Forgiveness is not 6 months on a therapist's couch. Forgiveness is an ongoing process. And while we need to forgive our mothers, let's be just outright honest about it today, we also need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive ourselves for the judgments that we hold. We need to forgive ourselves for not being the perfect child because we weren't. Anybody here think they were? Yeah. I'm not even such a perfect older person, so, I didn't have a prayer as a child. And this forgiveness can come through a variety of processes. This making your peace with the past is an ongoing and God says it's an ongoing process. Forgive your mother. Forgive yourself. Now, when my daughter was in her first psychology class in college, she came home and she assured me of all the things that were my fault, all of her personality quirks. Have any of you mothers experienced that? It may not have taken you until they got in college, but once they learned about all sorts of things, they laid it on your doorstep. I wouldn't be this way except you did this, or you didn't do this. I mean, that was sort of the theme for a whole semester. And finally I said to her, sit down, please. I have something to say to you. The minute you became a self-determining adult, you were responsible for your own choices. Now, self-determining adult can be as simple as deciding what to wear in the morning, being able to get yourself dressed and tie your shoes. Fix yourself a simple breakfast, fix yourself a sandwich, or pack a lunch to go to school. And I said to her, and this happened when you were 7 years old. I had walking pneumonia. There was nobody around to take care of my daughter while I was sick, so the doctor let me stay at home. And I was medicated, and she pretty much took care of herself for that 2 weeks I was in bed. And I said, so, anything that's happened since you were 7 years old, I'm not responsible for it. You were a self-determining adult at that point. Now, no, you didn't have a job, you didn't have your own apartment, you didn't have a car, but you could make some decisions. And you made decisions for yourself for 2 weeks, and you took care of me. So, honey, anything from 7 years and younger, I own. I was your mother. I determined all of those things. I bossed you around. I told you what to do. I made you clean your room. All of that stuff. But from 7 years on, while there were still rules in the house, they're yours. And you know what? It was such an incredible, freeing moment. I had freedom because I gave her responsibility for her own life. Now, it was sort of several years late. But it was like she never ever came to me and told me that how she was as an adult was my fault. Because if you notice something, they tell you what you did wrong, but they don't always tell you what you did right. And if your mother is alive today, I want you to go home from the service and I want you to call her, write her, run over to her house, whatever, and tell her something she's done right. Tell her something that she did impeccably for you to be the adult you are today. Because we're going to be doing that for ourselves today. But let me get into the rest of the talk.